It's an honor to announce my running mate and the next Vice President of the United States, Paul Ryan.
And then they cheered. You decide 2012, Mitt Romney announced his vice presidential running mate Saturday. He chose, I'm sure you know by now, Wisconsin Congressman, House Budget Committee Chairman Paul Ryan. Ryan is a Tea Party favorite. He believes in dramatically shrinking the government to get the economy back on track. Some think not dramatic enough, and some think he's out of his mind. And here's Gary Dietrich, our political analyst friend. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, man.
Glad that you're here. For those who don't follow politics at all, who's this Paul Ryan? Why do we care?
Well, most notably, he's the guy that's really been sparring with the president directly for 3.5 years over things like the size of government, where Medicare is going to go, where Social Security is going to go. He's been the architect of the budget plan that the House Republicans had, and that really has been what put him on the map, Paul.
You know, and let's talk about that. My perception has been in politics, when you're running for office, you don't want to be very specific in your promises. You just promise really good things in the future. Trust me on this. And Romney picked this guy who has laid out the most specific fiscal plan that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something, ironically, that's why many Democrats cheered this over the weekend, too. Because they want the attack opportunity, man. I mean, they said, I don't think I've ever seen, this is no joke, a vice presidential pick, both parties said, hey, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Because we want to nail him, or he's our guy. Really, I think what this does is it clearly puts issues back on the map. I mean, all summer, it's been about Mitt Romney's tax returns and yada, 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 right? Yeah. Now it's, again, about the direction of our country, the size of government, our spending, things that people initially said this election really was all about.
Help us out.
Like it or not, by the way. Like it or not. Whether you agree with Ryan or not, the issues now are on the table.
Oh, and I think that's healthy. I'd rather talk about real issues than, why we should hate him and why we should like him. That means nothing to me. Help out the average Joe who does not look at the issues as closely as you do. In the coming 83 days, whatever it is, we're going to have people saying, oh, you want to make huge cuts and I don't. And the other guy is going to say, no, you're the one that wants to make the huge cuts. They're going to make exact opposite claims. They're going to throw numbers at us, both sides confidently, and they're going to be it's not going to make any sense. Well, what's the average Joe do?
Well, both sides have said we want to balance the budget.
Yes.
I mean, the president himself has said, hey, I'm making cuts so that we can get by X date down to a balance. So that's what both say they want to do. It's how we get there, all right? And so you're going to hear a lot more details. A little too wonkish this morning probably to get into all that. But my point is, as often is, in these cases, pay attention to as much of the detail as you can, You don't have, okay, now you're smirking.
I am, because...
Okay, we'll boil it down for people between now and November, okay?
All right.
But I think right now the important thing is that Ryan was not, let's just say, a safe choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't this guy Portman from Ohio. Nobody knew who a lot of these other guys were. Ryan is a guy who's a known commodity inside the Beltway. He's a guy that out in the hinterlands, by the way, was very important for Romney in energizing the base. Paul, get this. Only 10% of voters now say, I don't know who I'm going to vote for in November.
Interesting.
So the swing vote is not as big as it's been in the past. What that means is very, very important to energize your base, get them to the polls, and Ryan does that, as well as bring the debate back to the issues.
And still, even though that number's smaller, it's going to be those swing voters that decide who our next president is, right?
In the swing states.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk to you a lot. I hope we talk to you all the time in the coming days. You're very helpful, Gary. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, buddy.
My friend Gary Dietrich will help us understand what's happening as the election approaches. Let's get to Zareen Adamji with some comments on what people are thinking about the Romney VP pick.